Final Fantasy is finally here, on Decked Out.
Welcome to our early access Precon game. We're joined by Maldhound and Zabracus, and as a special bonus, we're all in cosplay to match.
Ooh, as always, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard, but more on all of them later in the video.
All right, let's go ahead and check out these new decks.
Hi, yes, hello, I am Zabracus, and I'm a content creator of all trades, specializing in making gaming content, particularly Magic the Gathering. I'm also a professional cosplayer, and today I am in cosplay as Tifa, but I am not playing Tifa, I am playing Cloud X Soldier, and I'm playing this particular Final Fantasy Precon, which is all about equipment, extra combat, and just silly soldier shenanigans.
Hello everybody, my name is Maldhound. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram touching cards, attempting to touch your heart, but most importantly, telling you whether or not I'd touch your commander's parts. I'm here today in a Chocobo shirt standing up for cat girl representation by playing Y'shtola. We're going to be tapping out medium amounts of mana to draw medium amounts of cards in order to win a very big commander game.
I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today I am playing Tidus Yuna's Guardian. This is a Bant counters list, and it's perfect for me because I love interaction and creatures that go wide and put a bunch of counters on themselves. It's honestly the perfect deck for me. It's also one of my favorite Final Fantasies, so I'm really glad to play it today.
Hi, it's me, notoriously spiky Magic player VeggieWagon, and today I'm representing Final Fantasy VI with Terra, Herald of Hope. A Mardu graveyard synergy strategy is perfect for a high-powered Precon game like this, because as long as I stay alive, I'm always in the game, and Mardu's got all the tools that I need: removal, recursion, and life gain. Do you know what FF stands for? If you ask our sponsor Tales of Adventure, then it stands for free stuff.
That's right. Thanks to our sponsor, TOA, you can get one free Final Fantasy collector booster. The very first 150 people from the release of this video to put in an order using our code is gonna get 5% off and a free collector booster. And how will you know if you're still within that 150? Well, there will be a pinned comment in this video where I will tell you whether or not it is still available. And once they're out, I will delete it and pin another comment letting you guys know that they are sold out.
And their Final Fantasy pre-orders ship as soon as they are possibly able to do so they can get those cards to you pre-release weekend.
All right, don't forget, use the link in the description to get that link and code, and you can unlock your very own free Final Fantasy collector booster.
Okay, well, my Final Fantasy is seeing these Precons in action, so now let's play some Magic.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first. 8.
Oh my god, I got a 20.
13. Wait, what? No.
I can beat that. 4.
Let's do this.
I am going to play a tap land, but it will fix 2 colors and I pass.
Okay.
You keep a 7-spell hand?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Path of Ancestry and pass.
Double keep draw.
Get your own personality, my
Let's
god.
do a mountain and pass.
Oh yeah, all of my colors, Nomad Outpost, pass.
That's cheating.
I'm gonna play a land that requires that I reveal a plains from my hand or it will enter tapped. So here you go, very spooky, 3rd land drop. Bird, I'm playing the Baleful Strix, which is a 1/1 bird with flying and death touch, and when it enters, I draw a card. Get cantripped on, pass.
Weirdest looking chocobo I've ever seen.
He rides good though.
I'll play a Brushland as my land for turn and an Incubation Druid. An 0/2 that can tap for a land for any color I could produce, and if it has a +1/+1 counter on it, instead it will tap for 3, and I can adapt it for 5. And that's it, I'll pass.
I'm gonna play this land, and then I'm going to ping myself for 1 and cast a Nature's Lore. Search my library for a forest, put it onto the battlefield.
Game changer right there.
Game changer. It's tutoring.
It's tutoring. It's a
quite
tutor.
efficiently, I might add. Tutoring to field
Boom.
for 2 mana.
Forest. Take that.
I'm gonna play a Rugged Prairie and pay 2 for a Talisman of Conviction, and I don't know what's happening in this picture. Is it, am I kissing a slug? Is this a seashell? Yeah.
I think it's like a scarf.
Like,
I think it's a barf.
You're definitely making out with a slug.
I think you're blowing into a conch.
Well, you're blowing, but that's a cloaca.
I think it's a conch.
well, I will pass the turn.
That's horrible. Don't do that again.
Oh,
A turn 3 play. These cards are good, you guys. Oh my god, I'm gonna play this land. I'm gonna tap 3 for Alice Levelure. This is a legendary elf wizard who is a 3/2 partnered with Alphinaud Levelure. I'm gonna keep saying it like that. They have first strike and dual cast. The second spell I cast each turn costs 2 generic mana less to cast. But first, I will search my library for Alphinaud and put them into my hand, because apparently every card this deck plays replaces itself.
Yeah.
Which is pretty chill of it. I'm curving out, this is crazy.
Yeah, in the spells deck?
They're not supposed to let Esper players do that, you know? There's supposed to be a court-mandated 5 turns in which we have no blockers for the Naya player to stab us.
Oh, just wait, it's coming.
Oh, speaking of then, I'm gonna move to combat and swing Baleful Strix at you.
Well, I have the least amount
You
of life.
just promised me violence, pass.
I'm gonna go ahead and start with a tap land as my land for turn, and I'm just gonna play my commander. I'll take a point of damage for it. Tidus Yuna's Guardian, a 3/3. This is at the beginning of my combat. I can move 1 counter from a creature I control to another target creature I control, and he has the ability Cheer. Whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player, I can draw a card and proliferate. This happens only once per turn. I will pass.
Pay 2 to cast Bugenhagen, the Wise Elder. There's a Bugenhagen.
Neither name is serious.
Anyway, he's a 1/3 human shaman that lives in Cosmo Canyon, and he has reach. At the beginning of my upkeep, if I control a creature with power 7 or greater, I draw a card, and I can tap him to add 1 mana of any color.
We'll go great with Big Mogosh Jones.
He's just an eccentric old man who knows a lot about materia, okay? Don't judge him. And pass.
Yeah, he's a materia girl. Draw. I had that one was ready in the chamber.
I feel like Aerith is more the materia girl.
I'm gonna play a tap land. I'm gonna pay 3
Chocobo.
for Setzer Wandering Gambler. When Setzer enters, I create the Blackjack.
What?
A legendary 3/3 colorless vehicle with flying and crew 2. And whenever a vehicle I control deals combat damage to a player, I flip a coin. And when I win a coin flip, I make 2 tap treasures. That's a lot of words, and I like all of them.
It's a lot of treasures.
Pass the turn. Now, I could have cast my commander on that turn, but Setzer is exactly the kind of card that I'm a sucker for. It puts a bunch of stuff onto the board and gives me a chance at a big ramp every time that I attack.
I'm gonna play this land. I'm gonna tap out for my commander, Ishtola Knights Blessed, a vigilant 2/4 cat warlock. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, I draw a card, and whenever I cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, Ishtola deals 2 damage to each opponent, and I gain 2 life. Notably, I have 4 power on board, and apparently this is Esper aggro, so I'm going to move to combat. Are we good time, boys?
Always.
I ride the chocobos, you ride the weird blimp things. Good time, boys? Excellent.
Good time, boys.
I'm gonna swing Baleful Strix and Alice at NerdGirl.
No blocks. I take 4.
You take 4, which is crazy, because I'm gonna move to my end step, and then I'm gonna draw a card.
Okay.
I pass.
I'll play a command tower as land for turn, and then we're gonna go ahead and pay 3 for a Generous Patron. A 1/4 that when it comes into the battlefield, I can support 2, which means I put +1/+1 counter on up to 2 other creatures. And whenever I put a counter onto a creature I don't control, I get to draw a card, which is nifty. For now, I will go ahead and just put those counters on my own creatures, but maybe we'll draw some cards later. Your commander's just a 2/4 that doesn't do a lot.
No, but I'll kill you. I'll kill you dead.
You just started.
I'll kill you dead.
You just started
That's
killing me
Sephiroth's
dead.
job.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast for 4 Waka Devoted Guardian, a 4/4 with reach and trample. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, I can destroy up to 1 target artifact a player controls and put a counter on him. He also has Blitzball Captain. That says at the beginning of my end step, if a counter was put onto Waka this turn, I get to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature I control. I'll go ahead and move to combat, which is going to have the ability from Tidus that will trigger that allows me to move 1 counter from 1 creature I control to another. That'll be on to Waka.
Oh.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go at Mald with Tidus for 4.
Are you sure? Please.
I support
Every
this.
family.
Of cats.
Yeah, I take 4 and I'll draw a card.
All right.
Bozo.
When a creature of mine with a counter will deal combat damage, I'll get to draw a card and proliferate. So these will go to 2. I'll move to my end step, and because Waka received a counter this turn, I get to put a counter on every creature I control.
And I'll draw my card.
Pass.
All right, we're just gonna do boring green things. Gonna lose a life and cast Harmonize and draw 3 cards. And then I will tap Bugenhagen to cast a Colossus Hammer. It's just a casual equipment that says equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying. But it does cost 8 to equip.
Honestly, I'm not worried about it right now.
Please do not gesture at the 3 power first striker and that with the same degree of worried about it.
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is perfectly reasonable.
I feel bad, but I already have to like dig for better stuff. I'm gonna pay 4 for a main phase big score. I'm going to discard this Solemn Simulacrum and draw 2 and make 2 treasures. Yeah, that kind of worked out. I'm gonna play a land for turn. I'm going to sack a treasure for a Soul Ring. And then I'm going to pay 3 and cast my commander, Terra, Herald of Hope. 3/3 with Trance. At the beginning of combat on my turn, I mill 2 cards and Terra gains flying. And then when she deals combat damage to a player, I can pay 2 and return a creature with power 3 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I'm going to crew the Blackjack with Terra and go to combat. I'll mill 2 cards.
Remember, I am not the threat.
Yes, you are. You're the incipient threat.
I just wanna flip a coin.
If you want to get in for damage, you can hit me, but you have to swing both.
I see. All right, Mald, I'll send you the Blackjack and Zabracus. I'll send you just this 2/2.
All right.
I'll take 2.
I'm kidding.
Oh, thank God.
I know what you're.
Thank God.
I'll send both, but you of course will not block. Right.
I'd never block you. I take 5.
And then I will flip a coin. I'm playing red, so we're going with tails. Tails. Yes, that's 2 tap treasures.
Woo!
And now I will pass the turn.
On end step, I'll draw a card. Oh my God, this is gonna work. I will tap 2 mana for a Talisman of Dominance. Now, the next spell I cast costs 2 less. That's crazy. Anyway, unimportant. I'll tap 3 more mana and summon the God King Moggelheim. That's not his name, I just thought that sounded cooler. I'm gonna cast Summon Good King Mog the 7th or the 12th.
That is definitely 12.
Shut up. This is a enchantment creature. It is a 4/4 with flying and lifelink. Right now, I will be making 2 1/2 white Moogle creature tokens with lifelink. On my future turns, I'll be able to copy those tokens by casting instants and sorceries. And on the final step of it, I will be putting counters on all my Moogles, which will hopefully be multitudinous. Or Moogle-tudinous, if you will.
Is multitudinous the word of the day from your app of use a big word each day?
No, it's obstreperous, actually. Which you're being right now, quite frankly.
Is that an actual app?
No, that's
No. It's a real app. It's a real app. He's got it. He's got an app. It's in one word each day and how to use it in daily conversation.
Veggie heard me use the word preponderance, and he was like, "That's not a word Mald should know." Oh, sorry. You're all gonna take 2 damage because I cast an expensive non-creature spell. So you all take 2. I'm going to gain 2 life. Now we will move to combat.
Non-creature.
God damn it.
We gain it?
Take it back. Take it back. It's a saga. No, thank you, Veggie. You obstreperous little man.
You get bonus points in the app for twice.
Yep. Okay, then I will still move to combat. And Veggie, I'm going to swing 5 at you for correcting me on the rules of this game. I'm going to swing Alice and Yishtala, but Yishtala is vigilant.
Yeah, I will take 5.
Excellent. I will then move to my end step and draw a card because a player has lost 4 or more life. I cannot say that I expected to be turning sideways for combat damage so soon in the Esper non-creature ping deck, but after having been on the receiving end of it my entire life from NerdGirl, I'm not mad at it. I'm going to discard this Sage's Newliths, which is an artifact equipment that I won't be getting back. Pass.
Okay. Land for turn is going to be an Ash Barrens. And let's play A fight rigging has hideaway 5, and at the beginning of combat on my turn, I get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature I control. Then if I have a creature with 7 power or greater, I can play the exiled spell without paying its mana cost.
Oh, cool, you get that free spell this turn.
Awesome.
Very normal.
What are we doing about their board states? There is like chaos going on over here.
I don't know, I was hoping that they would like correctly threat assess and start hitting each other, but that didn't work on the first half of the problem
Mald's
turns.
been hitting me, and I hit Mald. What are you talking about?
Yeah, before you were problems.
Moral imperative, we just gotta...
I've attacked once, and I think it was at Mald, right?
You attacked 4 times, Nerdgirl.
That is not true. So I have a pre-combat deal for you.
Oh no.
Hammer never gets to hit me.
Okay.
And then I will blow up something and that's not your hammer.
Okay.
Great, done.
Deal.
First I'll go into combat, fight rigging will trigger. I will put the counter onto the trampler, which will allow me to flip over the fight rigging, which is going to be an inspiring call. I get to draw a card for each creature with a counter on it, and they become indestructible till end of turn. So I'll draw 4.
Oh, okay.
Next I'll trigger Tidus's ability to move a counter over to my trampler from the generous patron. I'll move to combat, and we are gonna say Waka the Trampler, indestructible of course, is going to Maldhound.
I support this.
Yep, and we are gonna go 2 on over to Zabracus.
I don't support this.
And 6 commander to Veggie.
I support this again.
I'm throwing all of the Moogles under that bus. They have 8 toughness, so you will not be dealing damage to me.
What? Okay, I mean that's okay.
And killed the Moogles.
I'll kill your whole board, that's fine.
Yeah, the Moogles are dead. I'll gain 6 life though.
Take 6 of these damages.
Yep,
Oh, and I take 2.
just a casual 2. All right, then I will get some triggers. I'm gonna stack it so that way Tidus will trigger because I dealt combat damage. I'll draw a card and proliferate. And then Waka will trigger and I will get a counter onto all of my other creatures.
Oh my god.
3 and 5. I will move to discard. I have to discard 2 cards and I will pass the turn.
I'm gonna pay 2, white specifically, and I am going to cast Vanquish the Horde. There are way more than 6 characters on this board state, and they are all going to the graveyards, please.
So hold on.
Yes.
If you counter this,
I'll tell you one thing for free. There's a lot of cool stuff in this deck, none of it's counter spells. If I pay extra mana, can we make it just her?
Yes, yeah, that works.
how does...
I also have a question. That's a destroy, right?
Yes.
No.
Boy, oh boy, was it nice of Zabracus to cast a one-sided board wipe for me. Pay 2
Oh my goodness.
for protection magic. I'm gonna put a shield counter on each of up to 3 target creatures.
Why would you do this to us?
Zebs, why would you one-sided board wipe for Nerdgirl?
I don't like this. This wasn't supposed to happen.
I'm gonna lose the generous patron. I am Yuna's guardian, and Yuna is my
Yuna's not
guardian.
even here.
It's Yuna! It's her spell!
We're gonna pay
Wow,
3
spoilers.
while you are talking about memories and weird stuff. And I'm gonna cast Red 13, the Proud Warrior. He is a 3/3 with Vigilance and Trample. Other modified creatures I control have Vigilance and Trample. And he also has Cosmo Memory. When Red 13 enters, return target aura or equipment card from your graveyard to your hand. And I don't think I have any in my graveyard, so that is moot. And I'll pass.
There can't be any more tricks, right? There can't possibly be any more tricks.
I'm
They're
tapped
tapped
out.
out, and notably we're in bracket 2, which means you can't cast anything for free. You go to jail.
Straight to jail.
I'm gonna start off with a not mean thing. We'll play 4 for Siegfried, famed swordsman. A 2/2 with menace. When it enters, I will mill 3 cards and then put X +1/+1 counters on Siegfried, where X is twice the number of creature cards in my graveyard. So thanks. 1, 2, 3. All right, we added 1 more creature, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna get 8 counters on this. And I'm going to try to Legions to Ashes Waka. I will exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls and all tokens that player controls with the same name. So get all your Waka tokens out of here.
Waka, 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 waka right out of here.
Is exile.
And I think this lined up perfectly for me. I will spend my remaining 1, 2, 3 mana For Cyan, Vengeful Samurai, would be 7 mana, but it costs 1 less for each creature in my graveyard, which is 4.
Oh my gosh.
It's a 3/3 with double strike, and whenever 1 or more creature cards leave my graveyard, I put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Okay, but the flavor of that card, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
His family gets murdered, and he gets stronger because he's like venging them.
And nobody would ever give him a map.
The more families that he has that dies, the stronger that he gets.
We'll go with that.
He's just adopting children in the hopes that somebody will come murder them.
I'm gonna use him to crew the blackjack, and
Oh
I
dear.
will hit NerdGirl for 3 in the air.
3.
Hopefully a 10/10 blocker is enough to hold off the crackback from NerdGirl.
Good luck.
I'm gonna play a land for turn. Notably, this land, I can pay 2 and tap it and sack it or any other desert to exile all graveyards, so watch your ass. But anyway, I'm not gonna do that, because we're good time boys. What I'm going to do is spend 4 mana on Alphanod Levelier. This is a 2/4 with Vigilance, and whenever I cast my second spell each turn, draw a card. Then, I'm gonna spend 3 mana to play Ardbert, Warrior of Darkness, the ridiculously named, who is a 2/2. Whenever I cast a white spell, I put a +1/+1 counter on each legendary creature I control. They gain Vigilance until end of turn, and whenever I cast a black spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each legendary creature I control. They gain Menace until end of turn. Because Ardbert is my second spell, I will draw a card off of Alphanod. Crazy. And now, gang, I want to help, right? Mm-hmm. I want to help, right? Mm-hmm. Can you not be mean to me for a turn? Because I'm going to use my help to help with this thing, and I don't want to get hit by a Colossus hammer because I.
Okay, I can promise
helpful.
niceness for 1 turn.
God, this would have been really cool to do with my commander, but that's too bad because I hate Titus, or whatever his name is.
Titus.
I pay 4 life to cast Snuff Out.
Oh.
Destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. Titus.
Titus is gone.
Oh, and hey, because I cast a black spell, I'll put
Wait,
one
don't
more.
you go to jail? That was free. You said there was no mana.
He paid life
I
for
paid
it.
life.
It's still free. You go straight
That's
to jail.
Not true.
You have to roll doubles.
That's not true. But I will put 1/1 counters on each of my guys. Because I cast a black spell. Go ahead.
This is concerning.
Good.
You guys are teaming
feels
up
our
on
pain.
me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and play my commander again. Just very casual. We don't need anything else.
Everybody calm down, please.
Yeah, no worries here. I'm gonna go ahead and move to combat. I'll use the hideaway to put a counter onto Titus, and Incubation Druid is gonna come in for 3.
The incubation druid does not like me.
Titus trigger, and I will get to draw and proliferate. So we'll go to 2 and 4. I will play a land for turn. It's gonna be a Forge of Heroes. It taps for colorless, or I can choose a commander that entered the battlefield this turn. I get to put a +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, and a loyalty if it's a planeswalker.
How convenient.
I just drew that land, so I will tap it and put a counter.
The deep layers of Bant's strategy continue to unfold in front of my eyes.
Yeah. Oh, look, that's good. Oh, look.
And then I'll pass the turn.
I literally just wiped the board. And it's like,
Yeah, look at this.
what is this nastiness? There's a 10/10.
Yeah, look at what's going on here.
There's
Look at all
like
this crazy
some
business.
It's sad when like the Gruul-ish player is the police.
upkeep draw. Oh, you all are in trouble. Starting now.
Oh
You
boy.
did say that last turn.
I'm definitely up to a little bit of a slow start compared to everybody else, but I am building up to something a little bit exciting, especially with this Colossus Hammer. Tap 5 to cast Cloud, X-Soldier. He's a 4/4 with haste, and when Cloud enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it.
Oh, right.
When Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control that if Cloud has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. And look, I just happen to have this Colossus Hammer that get attached to him.
It's a good thing he can't attack me.
I promised Mald that I wouldn't attack him for at least 1 turn. And I did promise NerdGirl that I wouldn't send a Colossus Hammer at her.
All right, so I'm gonna untap.
And so I am going to move to combat. Red 13 does say that other modified creatures I control have vigilance and trample.
Jesus.
So Cloud also has vigilance and trample. And so there is going to be a 14/14 Cloud coming at VeggieWagon.
Man, Wizards really heard Commander games could take 2 hours and took that personally on this set. Can we edit in a gulp sound effect?
Yeah. I'm gonna take 14 commander damage.
Oh my god!
And then, when he attacks, I draw a card. He has more than 7 power, so I create 2 treasure tokens. And I will immediately spend those treasure tokens to cast Professor Hojo. He is a 2/2, and the first activated ability I activate during my turn that targets a... Sorry.
This is my secret commander, Dr. Glimglob.
Professor Hojo is a 2/2, and the first activated ability you activate during your turn that targets a creature you control costs 2 less to activate. Whenever one or more creatures you control becomes the target of an activated ability, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And I will pass.
Dr. Wiggleworm, pretty strong.
He is a mad scientist.
I'm gonna play a land, and then I'm going to pay 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. Rejoin the fight. I'm going to mill 3 cards, and then starting with the next opponent in turn order, each of you will choose a creature card in my graveyard, and I get them all back.
To your hand or the battlefield?
Battlefield.
Oh.
And you can't choose the same thing. 1, 2, 3. So no extra options for you, but here's what we got.
So 4, we just agree what the weakest thing is, or the strongest thing is, and get the others?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm picking Angel of Ruin.
I was
and blowing
really
you all out. No.
What is the angel?
Angel enters, I exile a 2 artifact
Don't
and
you
or
dare.
enchantments.
Don't you dare.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure.
No.
I pick Angel of Ruin.
Oh.
I pick this one.
And I picked the sad robot.
All right, so I won't get General Leo Christoph, but I will get these 2 back. I get to search for a basic land from Solemn Simulacrum. I get to make a new blackjack. And very importantly, I get to exile up to 2 artifacts and or enchantments. Blah, 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 blah.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there.
I mean, the fight rigging's already done its job.
We gotta leave Angel of Ruin in the graveyard. No, we don't. We need to live.
Here's a swamp, and oh hey, by the way, Cyan does get a +1/+1 counter when 1 or more creature cards leave my graveyard, so it is going to get a counter. Okay, well I am at 15.
No, you are at 15.
I'm at 15. But also, a wise person once said, I won't leave damage on the table. Okay, Veggie, you're dead. So I am going to crew the blackjack, move to combat, and I will send this 10/10 menace at NerdGirl and a 3/3 blackjack to Zabracus.
I knew that was coming my way.
I have no blocks.
I can't block a flyer.
10 it is.
Oh, wait, I got one more thing. I gotta flip a coin. The most important part of the deck.
Do you make treasures?
Oh, it's always gonna be butts, red. Nope. No treasures for me.
Butts!
Oh, butts. Classic Cactuar line.
Classic Cactuar quote.
Oh, butts.
Zabracus.
What?
No, I'm gonna help. I'm looking at your board and I'm noticing a clear weakness now that you don't have Colossus Hammer, as Cloud has no evasion. I'm gonna help you with that.
I'm scared.
First, I'm gonna tap for Circle of Power. This is just a sorcery that lets me draw 2 and lose 2 life. I also make a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever I cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. And notably, because I am casting a black spell, I will put a 1/1 counter on each legendary creature I control, and they will gain menace until end of turn. Ooh, isn't that spooky? Wizards I control also get +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn. I'll draw 2 and lose my 2 life. I will now tap 3 mana for the Eye of Nidhogg, which is a legendary aura enchantment. Enchanted creature is a black dragon with base power and toughness 4/2, has flying and death touch, and is goaded. When it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. Because I've cast a black spell, something crazy is gonna happen. 1/1 counters! Oh my god. This wizard is also going to deal 1 damage to each opponent, which will give me 3 life, because it has lifelink. Isn't that neat? And I'm going to enchant Cloud. I'm going to move to combat. I have right here, this is a 6/7 wizard right now with lifelink and vigilance. And so I'm going to swing that at NerdGirl.
All right, no blocks.
Huh. Excellent. Now, perfectly balanced as all things should be, I pass. I'll say it, I feel like I'm playing a little too fair for Esper. Sure, it's an imposing board state, but I'm counting everything up by 1 at a time. Veggie's playing a 4-mana 10/10. NerdGirl's Bant! I don't know, it's bad, is what I'm saying. Oh, and I missed drawing a card because I cast 2 spells that turn. Isn't that nice?
You over here looking at my hand?
It's right there, buddy.
Can we be friends?
We can be friends, yes.
You won't hit me, and I won't be mean to you?
Not this next turn.
A card that will not hurt the lovely ladies at the table. Bane of Progress. A 2/2 that says when this creature enters, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. I get to put a +1/+1 counter on it for each permanent destroyed this way.
When this is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand.
How many?
So 2 so far, and then we have Veggie's board.
5.
7 total.
7 total.
I will draw a card from Solemn Simulacrum.
Oh my god.
Oh, I have a hand now. Yeah, great.
Next, I'm going to pay 2, and I'm going to play a Dusk Shell Crawler. It's an 0/3 that when it enters, I get to put a +1/+1 counter onto a creature, and each creature with a +1/+1 counter has Trample. Titus is coming to Veggie.
Why? I definitely have to block it. I'm a 14.
All right, so we will trade. I will trample over for 2, and I will get the trigger to proliferate and draw a card. 5, 8, 2. Titus will go to the command zone. I will draw a card. Oh, Veggie's very close to dying to commander damage.
Veggie's very close to dying to damage.
Pay 2 to cast Hero's Heirloom. Equipped creature gets +2/+1, and as long as equipped creature is legendary, it has Trample and Haste. Its equip cost is 2, which, ironically, my activated abilities cost 2 less to activate, so I can just attach this to Cloud for free. I draw a card.
1 more point of damage kills Veggie on the commander.
I think we need to play it a little safe. So I am going to tap 1 to cast Explorer's Scope. Whenever equipped creature attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. I can't get through your bullshit over
Sure
there.
can't. Not my Frenchman.
I will just pass.
Please be a spell. Please be a spell. All right, I'm gonna play a mountain. I have a spell to play. Okay, so we don't want to laugh at my land drop. I'm gonna play the Falcon, Airship Restored. This is a 4/3 flying vehicle. When it deals combat damage to player, I can sacrifice it and return a creature from my graveyard to the battlefield. And I can pay 5 mana to return it from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Now, I'll at least have game actions to take every turn. I do have 5 mana left, so I can recast my commander as well. I will move to combat. Terra will mill me 2 and gain flying. 1, 2, there's a Meteor Golem in there, that's pretty good. But I think it's pretty bad for me if I swing at anybody. So I will pass the turn.
I'm going to do something that seems wrong, but I promise is correct. I'm going to spend 5 mana on a spell with flash in main phase 1, which is Thancred Waters, a legendary creature, 3/5 human warrior with Royal Guard. When it enters, another target legendary permanent I control gains indestructible for as long as I control Thancred Waters, and whenever I cast a non-creature spell, Thancred Waters gains indestructible until end of turn. Now, because I have cast a white spell, counters, and my legendary creatures, gain vigilance. Now Thancred Waters will enter. I am going to pick Elfinod Levelure as the legendary permanent that gains indestructible for as long as I control Thancred.
Hang on.
Hang on.
It's the classic nerd girl can't be trusted with 1 white mana open.
I'll pay 1, and I'm just going to cast Path to Exile, and I'll exile a creature.
I get a land?
You will get a tapped land.
That's so much better than a stupid French guy. Okay, so Thancred's trigger will fizzle, and then I'm gonna be mean to NerdGirl for the rest of the turn.
Okay.
I will be casting the Eye of Nidhogg again, and your Bane of Progress is going to get hog wild.
Yeah.
Because I cast a non-creature spell, everybody will take 1 damage from my wizard, and because I cast a black spell, Ardbert will continue to get beefy. And then I will pass.
Sorry, Zabracus. I think our friendship is coming to an end.
Okay.
I don't mean it to. It just is.
Yeah, it must feel awful to get stabbed in the back out of nowhere.
Just minding my own business.
3 white, 3 colorless, float a white. And I'm gonna cast Damning Verdict, because this game has to end. We're gonna destroy all creatures with no counters on them.
In response, I'm going to tap 3 to cast Ultimate Magic Holy. Permanents I control gain indestructible until end of turn.
All right. Are those going to be a problem for me?
No,
You're not gonna hit me with them?
not next turn. He's my worry. He's at 40 life.
Agreed.
I'm
So I
at
can
4.
allow this to resolve?
Yes, I won't come at you for at least 2 turns.
Why are we changing?
2 turns, deal.
Oh my god.
2 turns, I'll take that.
Okay.
In the name of good time girlies. Veggie, what's your life total?
It's there.
You can still send it my way. I can block and my stuff won't die.
All right, well, I let your spell resolve. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, okay, so I take 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool, huh?
Pass.
Do some things here. Okay, so I'm going to equip the Explorer Scope to Cloud. It's free because of Hojo, and I get to draw a card. This is the first time I've activated a thing. Okay, we're cooking. All right. I've been patient and slowly building up my board state for this moment in particular. Mald has way too much life compared to the rest of us, so it is time to have a few extra combats and take him down a peg. Or 3. Tap 4 to cast Tifa, Martial Artist. She's a 4/4 with melee. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control with power 7 or greater deal combat damage to a player, untap all creatures you control. If it's the first combat phase of your turn, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. And then I'm going to pay 2 to cast Lightning Greaves. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. I'm going to equip Lightning Greaves to Tifa.
And Veggie's not going to attack us.
I can't.
If I blow this creature up so we can do some damage to Mald, you're not attacking us?
Yes, I'll probably make the choice of deal not a lethal amount of damage to one of you and then leave myself entirely open and provoke spite.
Great, then we'll do Destroy Evil, and we're going to destroy a creature with toughness 4 or greater.
Perfect. I will move to combat. I'm going to send Tifa and Cloud. Wait, they have vigilance. I'm going to send Tifa and Cloud at Mald. I will attack NerdGirl with Red 13 and Veggie with Professor Hojo. Because I'm attacking 3 players, Tifa will get +3/+3 because of her melee ability, so she will be a 7/7. Oh wait, I draw a card for each equipped attacking creature. So I draw 2. And then whenever equipped creature attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, I may put it onto the battlefield. I did those in terrible order. We'll just leave that up there. It's not a land.
No blocks, obviously.
I gotta block at this point.
I will bounce off of red.
And then Mald takes 13. And the best part, whenever 1 or more creatures I control with power 7 or greater deals combat damage to a player, untap all creatures I control. And if it's the first combat phase of your turn, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. I only got combat through with 1, so there's only 1 additional combat, unfortunately.
I think that's okay. I think that's plenty.
And I'm going to send Tifa and Cloud at Maldhound. And so Tifa will only be a 5/5 this turn. So you take 11. She gets 1 more, so she's an 8/8.
8/8, so I lose 3 more than I would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when Cloud attacks again, I get to draw a card for each attacked equipping creature. So I get to draw 2 more cards. And then whenever equipped creature attacks with the top card, I keep doing this in the wrong order. It's fine. And pass.
Spell. I should have been more specific. This is a spell. It's not bad. However, it requires me to discard a card to cast it.
Oh, God.
I am going to recast Terra again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will use her to crew the Falcon, and then I will move to combat. She will mill me 2 cards, a Morbid Opportunist and an Evolving Wilds. You got life gain. I'm gonna hit Maul for 4.
Good time, boys. Oh my god. That's fine. I'm always down to lose to group collusion.
I will sacrifice this. It will bring back my Angel of the Ruins. I would like to exile the Hog, and I do think I'm gonna hit your Lightning Greaves, because that seems really good for what you have.
And that exiles.
That's what I got. Pass the turn.
Good spell. Good spell. For 4 mana, Emmet Selk of the 3rd seat. This is a 4 mana, 3/4. Spells I cast from my graveyard cost 2 less to cast. Whenever 1 or more opponents lose life, I may cast target instant or sorcery card from my graveyard. If that spell would go into my graveyard, exile it instead. Do this only once each turn. I tap 5. I play Fan Daniel, Telophoroi Ashian. It's a 4/5. Whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, I surveil 1. At the beginning of my end step, each opponent may sack a non-token creature of their choice. Each opponent who doesn't loses 2 life for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. That counts currently 2. I will move to my end step. So would you like to sacrifice anything?
I would not like to sack anything.
Would you like to sacrifice anything?
I'll take 4.
Would you like to sacrifice anything?
I'm at 11. I'm gonna sacrifice something. Spend 9 mana for Terra? Sure.
When you all lose that life, I am going to cast Snuff Out, paying 4. And I'm going to target Bane of Progress.
I will tap 1 for an offer you can't refuse.
You're
gonna get some treasures.
2 treasures.
But I will counter your spell. Oh, that's so cute.
We're all dead.
Probably.
Combat. Maldhound. 10.
I had no blocks. Because I think that has trample.
Yeah.
So I can throw in front the only appreciable blockers I have and die there, or I can just let the house blow up early.
You won't die there.
Every time I participate in one of your bits, it ends up with me stabbed behind a Taco Bell.
The other option is you stabbed yourself behind the Taco Bell. Like,
Right, which is I am swift. You make it last. I will. God, fine. I will put Fan Daniel in front of Bane of Progress.
Okay, so then we'll trample for just a little.
For 5, I'll go down to 1. Fan Daniel will die. Do your little dance.
Next up, I'm gonna cast the Luminous
Oh my God.
Broodmoth. A 3/4 with flying that says whenever a creature I control without flying dies, I get to return it to the battlefield with a flying counter. And then I'm gonna pay 5 with white mana from the Druid. And I'm gonna cast Promise of Loyalty. Each player will put a vow counter on target creature they control and sacrifice the rest. Each creature can't attack me or a planeswalker I control for as long as they have a vow counter on them. So I'm gonna choose the Luminous Broodmoth with my vow counter. And then all of these will come back into play.
In response to that, I will preemptively sack my treasures to float mana so that Bane of Progress can't re-eat them when it comes back.
As much as I want extra combats, I think I'm gonna have to put the vow counter on Cloud.
Okay, so then we will sacrifice all of our things.
Yep, I'm gonna save Siegfried.
All of my creatures are gonna come back with a flying counter on them. I've been sitting on the Promise of Loyalty and Luminous Broodmoth play for a few turns now. I was waiting until everybody sort of exhausted all their resources to ensure that nobody could deal with my board afterwards. Bane of Progress is going to eat all artifacts and enchantments and get some counters,
No!
which I believe is 2.
That ruins my plan. I can't kill his thing now.
I like that the plan was still to kill your thing.
Please play the Taco Bell noise again in the face of immediate lethal. No, now I can't kill the 3/4. What the heck?
It deals damage!
It doesn't. It triggers off damage.
That's what I mean!
I can't. I have no targets.
I'm gonna use the Crawler to put a counter onto the Incubation Druid.
Live Moss, baby.
And then I'll pass the turn.
All right, I'm gonna pay 2 to cast an Arcane Signet. I'll pay 2 to cast Conformer Shuriken. Equipped creature has whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. If that creature has greater power than this creature, put a number of +1/+1 counters on this creature equal to the difference. And then I will pay 2 to cast Trailblazer's Boots. Equipped creature has non-basic land walk.
Oh.
And I'll pass.
I will follow up to your hog card.
Do you love it when Veggie follows up my hog?
I'm gonna follow up your hog with a snort. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards. But if any of my opponents do that, they also take 5 damage.
Oh.
That's crazy. Well, I won't do that then. Interesting.
I'm gonna pitch my 1 card in hand to draw 5.
I'm fine with my hand and not taking 5 damage.
I'm also fine with my hand and not taking 5 damage.
Nice.
Hey, Veggie, are you gonna kill me in combat this turn?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I did get a land, so I'll be able to cast my 9 mana 3-drop commander next turn, and I'll pass the turn.
I'd like to open this turn with I hate all of you. I played Demolition Field. Hey, look, the second planes. Cleansing Nova.
Oh!
Choose one, destroy all creatures, or destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Hey, you're tapped out, right?
All my stuff has
Yeah,
flying
get him
already.
out. I don't care. Get him out of here.
I'm actually okay with this.
Desist.
I am sad.
Yes, good. I drink it in. This is my Baja Blast. Before I am inevitably murdered behind the Taco Bell for this action. That's beautiful. I'd spend 6 mana on my commander. I have a 2/4 with Vigilance, the fairest board state there ever was. I pass. I have 1 life. Do your worst.
And aren't you glad I didn't let you kill yourself?
No.
I'm going to play a Gyre Sage. It has Evolve and it can tap and make a green mana for each +1/+1 counter on this creature. I'm going to pay 3 more for Bread for the Hunt. Whenever a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it deals combat damage to a player, I get to draw a card.
Bread.
And I'm sad that you killed all my creatures with +1/+1 counters.
Isn't that crazy?
But I will be done and pass the turn.
Now we're back to fair tempo magic. I like this.
How big is your creature?
2.
4? Okay.
Why are you saying stuff like that?
No reason.
Just give me a crunch wrap and pass the turn.
I will pay 4 to cast Aerith, Last Ancient. It's a U. It has life. It's a 3/5 with lifelink, and it has Raise. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If you gained 7 or more life this turn, return that card to the battlefield instead. I will pay 3 to cast Professional Facebreaker. It's a 2/3 with Menace, and whenever one or more creatures I control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, and then I can sacrifice a treasure to exile the top card of my library, which I may play that turn. And I will pass.
At the end of your turn, I'm gonna pay my remaining 5 mana to return the Falcon from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And then I will untap. I'm going to spend 4 mana for Interceptor. Shadow's Hound is a 4/3 with Menace. Assassins I control have Menace. I have none. And when I attack with 1 or more legendary creatures, I can pay 3 mana to turn it from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. But it's just gonna be the pilot for this airship. I don't know who it is worse to provoke here.
Well, if you hit Mauled, then nobody's provoked.
It's true.
I'm gonna send 4 damage in the air to Zabracus.
I knew it. I'll take 4.
And then I am going to sacrifice the Falcon. I will bring back General Leo Christoph. When he enters, I return up to 1 creature with mana value 3 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield, and then I put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature I control. So that is going to bring back Setzer, which is then going to also make a vehicle. The Blackjack has returned. General Leo is going to put 2 counters on itself. 3, it counts itself. See, this is exactly why I'm confident in this strategy, because I can rebuild immediately after any board wipe.
I feel like all those pleads of, I only have 1 card in hand, doesn't really work when you can bring all your cards out of your graveyard.
Yeah, I don't even want to say that. I'm going to then spend 3 for Moogle Warrior. It's a 1/2 with lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, each player may discard a card. Each player who discarded a card this way draws a card. And then if a creature was in the discards, I make a 1/2 Moogle with lifelink, and if a non-creature was in the discards, I put a counter on each Moogle I control. I'll pass to my end step. Everyone may discard a card and draw a card. So I'm going to discard a card.
I'm going to discard a card.
I will not.
I will.
Okay,
Land.
land.
Enchantment.
All I get is a counter on each Moogle I control.
And then I will also draw a card for Y'shtola. I'm going to spend 6 mana to cast 2 creatures. The first is Urianger Augurelt, a 2-mana 1/3. Whenever I play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 life. I can tap it to look at the top card of my library and exile it face down if I want to. I can also tap it to get an effect that says until the end of turn, I can play cards exiled with Urianger. Spells I cast this way cost 2 less to cast. Notably, does not have haste. He is here as 3 toughness. The second creature I will be casting is Estjenin Varlenu. This is a 4-mana 3/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains flying until end of turn, and at the beginning of my second main phase, I draw X cards and lose X life. Please stay 0. Where X is the number of your opponents who were dealt combat damage by Estjenin or a dragon this turn. I pass.
That's not a May ability, so you have to kill yourself if you hit us?
With this guy.
Okay.
Or
Or
dragons. Apparently the sub-theme of the Cat Warlock deck.
Tap for 5, and I'm going to cast Summon Magus Sisters. On each chapter, choose 1 at random. Put 3 counters onto target creature, or put a shield counter on a creature and gain 3 life, or this creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. And I'll get an evolve trigger on the Gyre Sage. So we'll go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. 4, so that's gonna be number 2. I'm gonna get to put a shield counter onto a creature and I will gain some life. I guess that's gonna be this creature because we need to do that. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll just pass. That's it.
Tap 6 to cast Summon Kujata. A 7/5 with trample and haste, but its first chapter is lightning. This creature deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. So kill Veggie's dog and Nerd Girl's Sage.
Type shit indeed. I like that.
So those 2 creatures will each have 3 damage. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, 2 lands, it'll be fine.
Quesarito, baby.
I think it's discontinued.
Just like me.
But I am going to move to combat, and I'm going to send the Professional Facebreaker, which has Menace, at Nerd Girl.
No blocks.
And then I get a treasure token. We're going to sack that treasure. We're going to pay 2 to cast a Hero's Blade. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever a legendary creature you control enters, you may attach this equipment to it. Pass.
I'm gonna crew the blackjack, and I'm going to combat. I got a lifelinker on defense. This should be totally fine. I'm going to send the blackjack and General Leo at Zabracus. And on attack, since I attacked with a legendary creature,
Oh no.
I get to return Interceptor by paying 3 mana. It is a 4/3 with Menace, so I'm going to send that at Nerd Girl, who only has 1 blocker.
In response, I am going to pay 1 to dispatch. Tap target creature, but more importantly, it has Metalcraft. If you control 3 or more artifacts, exile that creature. And I am going to target the 5/5.
Yeah, I was really hoping that was the swords, honestly.
I'll take 4.
And then I'll take 3.
Okay. I'll pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for a Ruin Grinder. It's a 7/4 with Menace. When it dies, each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. I will pass to my end step and I'll get a Mog trigger. Everybody can discard a card and draw a card. And if you do, I might get some stuff. I am not discarding anything.
I am.
I will not.
I am.
What we got?
Land.
You get a Moogle.
Ooh, all right. I get a Moogle and a counter on everything.
And I get to
Or
draw
on
a
all
card.
Moogles.
I will also get to draw a card off of Y'shtola because Nerd Girl lost 4 or more life. I will tap 5 mana to cast Hrasvelger of the First Brood, a 5-mana 5/5 with Flying Vigilance and Ward 2. It has Shiva's Aid. When it enters and whenever I cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked. So on ETB, I am going to target Urianger Augerelt. I am then going to spend 3 mana to cast Reaper's Scythe. So we'll have a couple triggers. It is a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater. Y'shtola will deal 2 damage to each opponent.
Oh no.
And I will gain 2 life. We're off of 1.
We should have killed him when we had the chance.
I will get another Hrasvelger trigger. I will pick Y'shtola. So she will become a 3/4 and will be unblockable this turn. Now, Reaper's Scythe itself is job select, which means I will make a 1/1 hero token and attach Reaper's Scythe to it. At the beginning of each end step, put a soul counter on this equipment for each player who lost life this turn. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter on this equipment and is an assassin in addition to its other types.
I spared you multiple times. Let it be known. I could have killed you.
Sorry, what happened when my life was 40?
Yeah, and then I still didn't murder you. I just brought you down so that we were all on the same level.
Right, and now that we're all down here, I'm going to drown you. I'm going to move to combat. Y'shtola will swing at NerdGirl, and Urianger Augerelt will swing at Zabracus. So 3 unblockable damage coming at you, 2 unblockable damage coming at Zabracus.
I did so much to not disturb his board state, and he's still killing me.
Right, like the board wipe, like the threat,
I mean,
like
the
the
past,
worrying,
like, 5 turns.
worrying about how to kill my wearing
I
garbage.
could have murdered you with
You should have
Kujata.
put me in the Taco Bell dumpster when you had the chance.
I know I never really made a good time boys pact with Maldhound, but I feel like we had an unspoken agreement that, like, because I clearly wasn't killing him, that he wasn't gonna kill me. Betrayal. I was betrayed by the cat boy. I'm dead. I can't do
You
anything.
sure are.
I take 3.
Excellent. For sure. I pass to my end step, and because you lost more than 4 life, I'm going to draw a card.
And we're gonna see what we get here on chapter 2. 1, so that's going to put 3 counters onto something, which is not helpful. It's big, but I can't do anything with it. I'm gonna pay 3 for a Lulu Stern Guardian, a 2/3 that says whenever an opponent attacks me, I get to choose a creature that is attacking me from that opponent and put a stun counter on it. She can also pay for and proliferate. I think I need the blocks, and hopefully Lulu will prevent you guys from attacking me because then your stuff gets stun counters, which will then let the other person kill the other person. So maybe you'll all leave me alone. And I'll pass.
We'll see what NerdGirl blows me out with, but I will move to combat, crew the blackjack, and send it to NerdGirl, and then just send the rest of the team at Mald.
I do get to put a stun counter on the blackjack. Don't bother.
This, I'm going to tap 2 and exile your graveyard.
I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna bring the Falcon back.
Optimal indeed.
Optimal.
All right, I will pay 1 life for the Pain Land, and I'm gonna cast Endless Detour, and the owner of target spell, non-land, permanent, or card in a graveyard of my choice is gonna go onto the bottom of the library, and it's gonna have to be the blimp that's going to kill me.
Okay.
Nope, the other one.
Returning this to the battlefield was not just because you were exiling my graveyard. I did need 1 card to leave my graveyard so that I could play Gao, Feral Youth. This is a 2/2. Whenever Gao attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And at the beginning of each end step, if a card left your graveyard this turn, Gao deals damage equal to its power to each opponent.
Dead.
That was epic.
My king. All's well that ends Baja.
Also, you didn't go with All's Bell that ends Bell.
Come on,
It was
man.
right there.
I'm tired. I have many knife wounds in me.
I loved playing this precon. It was so much fun, but I do have a few ideas on how I want to upgrade it to destroy my opponents even faster, particularly Maldhound.
Don't forget to support your favorite Commander show by doing something you were going to do anyway, and that's buy Magic singles. And you can do so by using our sponsor, TOA.
It really is that easy, and Tales of Adventure has a wide selection of singles from the most basic printings all the way through the most premium versions, and they've also started stocking sealed product now, so you don't need to go anywhere else for anything Magic.
And you get 5% off your entire order when you use code DECKEDOUT at checkout.
And you should know by now, the link is down in the description, right there.
Just pre-testing the ability to whip it around for the game-winning play. If one good time boy should die, it must always be such that another good time boy lives. That's in the code that I just made up. I am very glad that my death could lead to Veggie's eventual victory in a way that we most assuredly planned together and did not catch me off guard at all.
If you're building decks and you're not using Moxfield, then I feel bad for you. It just is the best tool for organizing, customizing, and collaborating on all of your decks.
In fact, it's the only way that our team can keep up with building sometimes over 20 decks per month. And it's the way that we can share our deck lists with you in a nice, easy format.
You can always support the show too, just by following us on Moxfield, where you can find every deck that's ever been on the show.
Remember, Bant has very difficult sequencing, and you should be...
Yeah, you should always be proud whenever a Bant player figures out how to count from 1 to 2 and then 3. It's very hard for them.
I think the deck had a great showing. The problem is that Bant didn't have as much reach as the other players in the late game. So realistically, I should have been putting them in the dumpster behind the Taco Bell when I had the chance.
I'm just like imagining these like cute teddy bear looking Moogles just with these like spiked baseball bats just like beating the shit out of you.
Specifically you.
You've actually'd your last end step, buddy boy.
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories.
And Ultimate Guard products are the way that all three of us on the Decked Out team are able to organize, protect, and display our collections. And they're the best way to show off all of our cards on camera for you.
So make sure you use the link down below in the description to support the show and pick yourself up some amazing upgrades.
This is the moment where in the standoff where everybody's like this, and then one of them's like, "Hey man, you gonna shoot somebody?" No, what are you gonna do? That's the problem. And there you have it. Final Fantasy VI is the finalist of the fantasies. And the longer that the game went on, the better my chances at winning became, and I was able to grind everybody out. And I can't wait to be able to put some of the new Final Fantasy main set cards in, because you get so many goodies for these colors. I don't know, I'm looking at 3 healthy hands and...
Oh yeah, hey, here you go, by the way.
That's healthy.
That's healthy, okay.
Hey, these are game actions.
You should talk to your doctor if you think that's healthy.
We'd like to take a minute to thank our patrons and YouTube members. Without your support, we never would have been able to play this early access game.
Yeah, it is specifically thanks to patrons and members like you, Jeff, that we're able to keep this show weekly and do cool things like this. So thank you.
And don't forget, you can always become a part of the show by signing up for our Patreon. You can use the link down below in the description to unlock those exclusive perks, monthly signed tokens, spell table games, maybe even have us play your Final Fantasy deck list here on the show.
And of course, Jeff Roth, you can always support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That's all we've got for you for today. We'll see you next time on
Decked Out.